welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, KG. With me tonight, WCW veteran, author of Looking Up at the Lights. I'm talking about Robbie Ido. Also with me, WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Cooker, Bob Cook. And apparently tonight, he is gracing us with his presence. I'm talking about a man that from a distance you might mistake as a skunk, and you see why. But he is the best damn referee in the business. I'm talking about George Strong.
Frankie Reyes?
Look, I had to. I mean, you know, sometimes I just have to.
Damn it, Kevin.
Guys,
I thought Pete Snow was joining us.
you know, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with each one, every one of you, and I'll explain to you what it is. So, I normally don't go back and watch the podcast too often. I hate hearing myself talk. I'm very critical of myself because although I've gotten better, I have a lot of bad habits. I do a lot of ums and so's and shit like that, and I tend to beat myself up. But I interviewed yesterday Ronnie Gossett. By the way, fans, go check out that interview. Ronnie's a great guy. He has such a great story. And last night, I'm like, you know, I should probably turn on the podcast just to make sure the sound and everything is coming up okay still. I haven't done that in a while. And my wife's sitting next to me. So I turn the podcast on and watching it. And she's like, Kevin. I'm like, yes. She's like, why do you have subscribed for to the podcast? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, actually look at your wording. The last, whatever you call it, the background that had supposedly subscribed in the back of us, the B was left out. It was SUSCRIBE. And I'm like, you know, I've been using this for 7 months. Someone admitted it for me. I don't know why. I didn't double check it. So my dumb ass has been using this. But I started thinking about it, and like George, I am from Louisiana, so I have an excuse. I'm disabled when it comes to intelligence. But I'm like, you know, my wife was like, you have 4 regular people in your podcast, not to mention all the other guest co-hosts you've had and the guests you've had, and not one person has mentioned. Not to mention our viewers. We average about 130 to 150 views per show. And not one person has said anything to me about it. So thanks. Thanks for saving me from that embarrassment.
Well, where is it? Here's my question. Is it at the very top?
It is. You can't see it right now.
Yeah, so I was going to say I can't see it, but
this is the thing. But you know what, Robbie? This also showed me something. That none of you sons of bitches go back and watch our podcast. Because if you did...
Well, I don't, you know, what, I want to see me fighting with Cook?
I mean, you know, you can be watching, you know, the interviews that I do with people. You can be checking that out.
So you got a bone to pick with 200 people, not us 3, because if nobody corrected you, then we're watching the interviews and we're turning it off.
Yeah.
So in my defense, KG, I went to Venice High School, so I can't spell.
Hey, if it wasn't for AI, I'd look really stupid.
No, I just think you've been hitting the head so many times with the chair. It's not very cool. And fans,
I put my hands up. I wasn't an idiot.
So, by the way, and I didn't know this, I'm glad you shared this with me. You know, to those watching the podcast, if you go to my page, KG Landry on Facebook, I post a bunch of wrestling stuff, and one of the things I posted was Eddie Guerrero's very first match in WCW back in 1989. And I didn't know this. I found this. I'm like, well, I'm going to share this. I thought it was cool. And he is facing none other than Terry Funk, one of the greatest to ever put on a pair of boots. But I posted this, and we have a little private group chat. So we talk to one another about the podcast and other stuff. And I posted in there, and Bob was like, yeah, I was backstage on that night. Bob, tell me about that night. Did you meet Eddie that night? But, you know, a young man like that, even though he was at the beginning of early in his career. At the same time, he came from such a rich wrestling background with his family. Was he someone that you found was a little nervous about being on WCW the first time? Was it something that no, because it just came natural to him? What was your thoughts on that night that you can remember?
Well, I can be honest and say I don't remember meeting him. I don't even remember him. I know I was there, but I don't remember meeting him or interacting with him because it wasn't like a big deal like it would have been like, 20 years later where you're like, oh, shoot, that's Eddie Guerrero.
Right. Robbie.
And I
Don't agree about.
Well, I was just going to say I wouldn't know whether he was nervous or not because I didn't pay attention to what other people were going through.
Yeah,
I was scared
Robbie,
myself.
Where were you at in 1989 with in your wrestling career? You weren't with WCW yet, huh?
Yeah, I was in WCW.
Were you?
Yeah, I don't remember being there that night. Who knows? I could have been. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had the opportunity to meet Eddie Guerrero?
No, I know Hector, but I don't remember meeting Eddie at all. That's why it was kind of weird that you're saying that it was 1989 because I'm like, wonder where I was, why it wasn't in that, or maybe I just don't remember that night.
I think the good reason why is your brain, it especially goes with memory. You have to have a lot of good blood flow. And being that you are taking so many damn Tylenols, you might have been lightheaded that night because of lack of blood. Guys, we're talking about Monday Night Raw, March 9th, 2026. George, overall, what do you think about the show? Without going too much into it, we're going to talk about each segment.
Last night was better than the last time I was on, where I was highly disappointed in the show. I was fairly satisfied. I wouldn't grade it just yet, but
Right.
I'll wait till we get through it.
Yeah. Bob?
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, what about you, Robbie?
It was okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Another arena half full, though. That could be problematic.
But
half full arena last week, half full arena Friday, half full arena this week.
But here's the deal, and I'm glad you said that because it goes perfectly into what I was going to talk about. It's reported that there were 3 million viewers for Raw last night, and they came in 6th nationally for most viewed show on that. I'm not sure if that's just Netflix as far as the most viewed or streaming altogether, but again, 3 million, they came in 6th. So the viewership was there. But that would make sense, Bob, because besides paying, Netflix little, whatever, monthly fee that you pay, that's a lot cheaper than actually the high tickets, the cost of the tickets to actually be there live. And Bob, I'll let you, and then we'll go around the table here. At what point do you think that this is happening because of the tickets being so high? Obviously, people are watching the product with having such a high viewership on Netflix. And do you see WWE, or should I say TKO, they're making the decisions, backing down and lowering those costs so they can fill those arenas?
Probably not.
No? Yeah. Robbie?
Yeah, I got to agree with Bob.
George?
Unanimous decision. I do not think they care.
Which is crazy to me because it's a business, guys. Business, you want to make money. And obviously, they're probably still making money, even with low ticket sales. I mean, with the millions and millions, if not close to $1 billion, the deal with Saudi Arabia and all the other ways they're making money. I don't know. Maybe they just don't care. But nonetheless, we get into it. Let's get into it, guys. Again, it's live from Seattle, Washington. Opening segment, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce opened the show, demanding answers from Seth freaking Rollins following last week's brutal attack on Paul Heyman. Adam was like, look, I agree with you. No one likes Paul Heyman. I don't like him. But I get paid to run a business and I have to have order. Next, we see a bunch of guys with black masks coming out, running around. One of those men, of course, Rollins, as he took off the mask. And Adam Pearce is like, look, you're not cleared. You're going to get yourself hurt. And then that's when the Vision's music comes, we hears it, and out comes the two remaining members of the Vision. And then that's when Seth Rollins pulls down his mask again. And all the little men in the black mask run around to mix themselves up and then take off. The confrontation escalated, of course, and then we had LA Knight and the Usos came to the ring. A fight broke out between both sides, and the segment ended with LA Knight and the Usos standing tall after taking out the Vision. It was also announced that Paul Heyman is out indefinitely due to the injuries from the attack last week. Robbie, start with you. What did you think about all of this?
Wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. The only thing I had an issue with was when the Usos came out. Like, we played their music and
walk slowly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're coming to save somebody, don't you run to the ring instead of you're kind of like bouncing to your music and slapping fives with the crowd and stuff. I mean, it was like, yeah, screw LA Knight. We'll take our time and enjoy the crowd on the. That was the only issue I really had was that. Right. Just the way they came to the ring.
Yeah, I noticed that too because they were both walking pretty damn slow. George, we've seen this more than once where Seth Rollins, before we knew Seth Rollins had the mask on, came and helped LA Knight out. And then we've seen LA Knight come and help Seth Rollins out. Do you think, man, and I know there's a storyline and who knows, but in your opinion, do you think that LA Knight and Seth Rollins they're both behind what's going on and we're going to see some type of a faction or maybe just some type of a team with those two guys? Or is it just coincidence that they both hate the Vision and that's what's happening?
I can't think of the phrase. I wanted to say lead with that, but it's two superstars that don't like somebody. They don't like each other, but they can come together to fight the Vision. I also thought that, they were kind of laying the siege for the Vision to challenge the Usos for the tag belts at Mania or something, or in the near future, because it needs to be the right thing lately to pull the trigger before Mania since it's so far away. But no, I think it's literally just, one of those cases where it's like, we don't like them, so let's just worry about them until we can just fight each other again. So and the segment wasn't, I like the segment. I like the whole, that whole Minions thing is just like, they can't do CG in live. So that's about the closest you got. Do a little Broadway thing with Seth Rollins.
Yeah. My question though, and this is Bob, how much longer can they go with this whole Seth Rollins and the mask thing before it gets old? I mean, after all, we know the guy under the mask is Seth Rollins. Or should they keep that up? Is that something that they should continue pushing?
Probably the reason they're doing it is because he's not fully healed, so they don't really want him to get into any real physical activity. So if you got all the chaos going on, it just kind of diverts. Why isn't he wrestling or fighting? I don't know.
Right. Next, go back to Adam Pearce, who's talking with Javon Evans, telling him that 2026 is going to be a huge year for him. The moment was interrupted by Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller. Kofi dismissed Waller rather rudely, if you ask me. Poor Waller. With Evans, and he advised Evans to surround himself with the right people if he wants to succeed, telling Evans that, you remind me of younger me, back when I was doing things no one else could do. Obviously, this is building to the decision to be made whether or not Evans wants to join Judgment Day. Now, Bob, on one hand, I'm like, no way will they put him with, not Judgment Day, with New Day.
The New Day.
The New Day. On one hand, I'm like, no way they're going to do that. But, being that we're down just to Kofi and to Grayson Waller, are they going to put him in that spot to continue the New Day. I hope not. I personally think that may hurt him a little bit. But what do I know? Bob, you know more than me when it comes to this sport.
Yeah. Well, I have no interest in any of those people. I say get rid of them all and start fresh with some of the new talent. Come on, they've been around long enough.
George, same question, man. Do you think that they're doing this because Woods is out and they need somebody else in there? So Evans kind of fits in because him and Kofi complements each other. He's a little taller than Kofi, but body structure, build, they look like they very similar style in the ring. I personally think that they would make a hell of a tag team, except I agree with Bob. I don't want him with those guys. I want to see Evans by himself doing his thing because, look, I've only been invested in Evans the past 3 weeks, and I get more and more invested in him now that he's doing his thing and doing it well. I don't want to see it watered down. And that's what I think would happen. What say you?
So the New Day have become cartoon villains while I'm still entertained by them. They are filler for the next up-and-coming face or something like that. I think this just leads to a longer rivalry with Javon and the New Day, whether he has a tag team partner for this battle or not. I would like to see him and Kofi mix it up some more because, they could probably make some great matches just for their wrestling styles and maybe throw Waller in there every now and then to flatten out the Kofi versus Javon matches. But I don't think he's going to join. I don't see a reason for him to join for the same reasons. Like, why would you build him up if you're going to put him with a heel faction?
Because it's WWE.
It's probably this is true. This is true, but they're not that dumb. I've seen them do a lot of dumb stuff, but I don't think they do that. Like, they just put all three of the main guys from NXT on the main roster. Don't ruin it by putting, taking Javon Evans and stopping his push. Reminiscent of Damian Priest when they stuck him with Edge when the Judgment Day started. It was like you were pushing him, then you put him in the Judgment Day, then he disappeared to the background. And it's like it took Edge leaving for him to get back where he was. So don't do that with Javon Evans.
George, I'm going to argue that a little bit. I think that putting him with Judgment Day saved him because I think
no. I'm talking before they got rid of Edge though. That's what I'm saying. Like when they put him in Judgment Day, Vince was actually pushing Damian Priest.
Right.
When he put him in Judgment Day because Edge wanted to build him and Rhea Ripley up, they kind of staggered his growth because he was getting a push. He was U.S. champion. And then it's like Rhea's already getting popular and they stick them with Edge. And the Judgment Day took off once they got rid of Edge because, you got a new layer of Finn, you got a new layer of Damian, and Damian kind of got his spot back. And, as we've seen on SmackDown, it's kind of falling back to that.
Right.
So, but yeah, I would want to see them do the same thing with Javon Evans.
Look, I agree with you. I want to see a match between Kofi and Javon Evans. I want to see them on a PLE type of a match because I keep on saying one thing of that it seems like to me, professional wrestlers, they have two gears. One, just your weekly TV, and then the PLE gear where you're doing more high stakes stuff, because there's more on the line and the matches are always better. I want to see them add that gear together. I think that it would be an amazing match. Robbie, am I wrong? No, we don't need no more. We don't need Javon Evans against Kofi Kingston. We need them together as a team because they do kind of complement one another.
No, I don't think it'll do Evans any favors putting him in there. I'd rather see him by himself. I just kind of leave him. But we have seen WWE do crazy stuff.
Yep. George, next we go to something that I didn't know if I would get into or not, but I did. I actually enjoyed it, which was the gauntlet match. The participants included Bayley, Lyra, Io Sky, Raquel, Asuka, and Ivy Niles. We started off with Lyra against Asuka. I was surprised. I'm sorry, it wasn't Lyra against Asuka. What am I talking about?
Io.
Yeah, it was Raquel.
Io and Lyra.
And I was shocked when I seen EO take that win. Next, after that, that's when it was Lyra next, right?
No, you had Lyra, then Raquel.
Raquel was next.
Raquel was next. Sorry, I started ordering when I pulled up everything. I just realized that. So, yeah. Once again, so Raquel actually won against EO.
No, she lost.
Kudos to Gauntlet match. Now watch me fucking struggle because again, the site that I used to get my notes, they didn't put that shit in order.
So it started with Lyra and EO, and EO beat Lyra. Then Raquel came out, and Raquel got beat up because of the outside interference with Liv, and then she attacked EO, which led to Ivy now coming out and stealing a win from EO, in which that was next with Bayley.
Right. When Bayley defeated Asuka. You know what? Normally with my notes, I'm watching it, and I'm pausing, and I'm writing shit down, and I'm like,
just scrambling for names.
the one time that I say, why am I doing it this way? Let me just go to the internet. They didn't put shit in order for me. No. I like the Gauntlet match. I'm a little surprised Bayley won. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get into a Bayley versus an AJ match. We'll see. George, your thoughts?
So I'm usually a fan of the Gauntlet matches because I remember some years ago where we found out how good Seth Rollins could be when he stayed in the ring for an hour in a Vince McMahon era of WWE Raw, where it was like a Gauntlet match and Seth Rollins wrestled for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes straight before the match ended, basically. Now, this match wasn't as epic, but it was still good. I liked everything about it. Like, some people will probably be like, oh, they were wrestling too slow with like Lyra and EO. I don't know how many times they've actually wrestled each other, like, if at all, or in singles like that. But like, that match was that part of the match was perfectly fine. Fast forward to bringing in Ivy now. I always like when they showcase her because I'm really a big fan of Ivy now. But I thought the match was fine. I didn't know the implications of the title shot, if it was going to be on Raw or WrestleMania, but Bayley versus AJ could be interesting. Because, I mean, hey, look, the match at AJ and Becky at Elimination Chamber wasn't bad, and I think they could pull off an even better match with Bayley, who's more of a wrestler than Becky to me, but that's just me.
Robbie, let's talk about Ivy Downs for a second. I don't understand what WWE is doing with her because when she first debuted, I really thought they were going to do something with her. I really did. And now, yes, she's on TV, as Bob would point out. I get that. But as someone that is somewhat of a fan of hers, it seems like they don't have an interest in pushing her at all.
No, I don't know why. She's got a good look. I mean, it's funny she looks like two different people with her hair, with it braided and with it being down. It looks like two different people. But I mean, her physique is good. She definitely holds her own. She's a good worker and everything. I'm surprised they haven't pushed her either. I thought that maybe watch her getting the pin over EO, thought maybe, okay, they're going to have her run the table here the rest of the way and she'll come out the winner.
Right.
But they didn't do it that way.
Bob, I remember when the first time I ever spoke to you on social media, it was in the comments and it was about Bayley. And you were saying why she's still on my TV. They've done what they could do with her. She needs to disappear for a while, and she really hasn't. What do you feel? How do you feel about Bayley winning this and going on to face AJ when you had so many other girls there who arguably could have possibly have a better match with AJ than Bayley?
First of all, I like to say that Ivy Niles is kind of like the Chad Gable of the women's division in the sense she's got herself in phenomenal shape.
Mm-hmm.
But, it could be something as simple as like none of those people that were in that match would set the world on fire. Like if they said this is, AJ against Asuka, that it's not going to the turnstile's not going to spin. So it's like it's a crapshoot. It could be something as simple as someone overheard Bayley mention that, God, I'd love to work with AJ since she's been back. I didn't get a chance to work with her before. And it's that simple. You never know. It could be that simple. They're like, hey, let's let her work. You know what I mean? It's not like it's the end of the world either way.
Right.
But I think it'll be a great match.
Yeah.
So I don't. Again, we don't know the inner workings, the real behind the scenes story, but it could really be just as simple as she has respect for AJ, like Robbie and I had respect for certain people in the business, and we got a chance to work with them, and it was, in our perspective, wow, awesome. So who knows?
Yep. You don't think the fans may have responded better if it had been someone like Io Sky against AJ? No?
I don't know. What happened? Is Bayley not insane anymore, or what?
They see that's what I'm wondering. They seem like they just.
I think they just dropped it because it wasn't working. I don't think there's anything else the crowd didn't respond to it the way they should have. I think they just cut it short. Like some of the gimmicks they should have did a long time ago. It's like that wasn't going to work.
But how did they know it wasn't going to work? Because they didn't. I don't think they gave it a really good chance. I agree. I like it. I'm just saying, like, how could they?
I was about to say, but I remember when we were talking about it, none of us really were buying into it. It's like the part of, and I know part of it was because they were fighting Becky and whoever, but it's just like they keep doing it and teasing it, and she slaps her. Where's it gonna go? What's the problem? It's like, what does she do? Does she snap and go heel? Does she go back to be a hugger Bayley? Like, how does it pay off for Lyra? Because like it was centered around her and Lyra's relationship for the most part. So that's what I'm saying. They probably just dropped it because it was dead in the water. It may not have been anything they had to wait and see. It was just like it wasn't going anywhere, and they didn't have an end plan for it. Because it's like R-Truth. They didn't have an end because they didn't plan on him being there. They just brought him back because the wrestlers in the back and the fans wanted him back. They didn't really have a payoff other than him wrestling John Cena. And that was it. And then when he came back as the new R-Truth, he didn't even wrestle John Cena after there was nothing. They just changed him back to R-Truth. Bayley going crazy had no end, just like that. It's like they kill stuff sometimes because they see everybody's not responding to it.
Yeah. And speaking of, and this isn't in the notes, they did a backstage segment with Bayley and Lyra talking about Bayley winning the match and being the number one contender for against AJ Lee. And I don't know where they're going with this, because on one hand, it looks like Lyra's going to be the one that's going to turn on Bayley, because like I say, she gets a little annoyed with her. But then it's like, but is it maybe Bayley? Because Bayley seems a little fake. I don't know whether.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you can't
invest in it, to be honest with you.
You can't say it's predictable.
Yep, that's true.
Right.
So, but do you think that the reason they didn't put Io over is just because AJ couldn't probably handle that style?
I mean, that's a good point.
That's a great point. Although it's the WWE, I mean, I'm sure they'd have time to work together. I mean, if it gels, it gels. Hopefully, it's organic in the ring. But yeah, you could be right. I was thinking the same thing, but I think AJ could probably hang with Io, considering she doesn't have to do like a bunch of crazy stuff with AJ.
Right.
Well, yeah,
and it's face versus face. they can just wrestle for like 5 minutes.
But if you have Io doing a lot of stuff off the ropes and stuff, and AJ, just been out for a while, could it have been part of that reason? Is just the adaptability to that?
I think it was last week or the week before, I mentioned for some reason I am not connected to AJ like I was back when, as far as being a fan of hers. And I went back and watched some old stuff. And I think the reason why is AJ wasn't really a baby face. AJ was kind of a heel, but a crazy heel. And you brought up that they just dropped this with Bayley, her being crazy. What's the possibility that they're planning on using AJ at some point as that person that's you can't have two of them that way?
Yeah.
But AJ Lee definitely, for myself, is a much better heel than she is babyface. Much better. Next, we go to Barry Sexton interviewing Natalya, but the interview was interrupted when Maxine Dupree attacked her. I didn't give two flying fucks about them, Robbie. Didn't care.
Hey, don't be talking about Bob's girl Natalia over there like that.
Natalia.
I mean, come on. Have you? They've been pushing us on this. Have you finally started to believe that Maxine's this badass and that Natalia is completely different from, or is Natty's completely different from
Natty.
Natalia? Where you at with this, Robbie?
You know, let's just move on. Let's move on from this. Sorry, Bob. I know your favorite worker is Natty, but you know, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, were you watching really intense?
Well, you see, I'm good anytime Maxine's on the TV, just like I'm good anytime Natalia's not. So
I'm just not buying her being this badass. I'm talking about Maxine. What'd you think about the punches, Bob?
What?
The punches.
Oh, well, punches. Punches are illegal, you know. That's the argument. That's the argument people have.
In another backstage moment, the original El Grande Americano confronted Danhausen, or more like met Danhausen. Refusing, Danhausen wanted him to try the mask on, and he was like, no. Danhausen responded by placing the curse on him, which led directly to the Intercontinental match, which was supposed to be the original El Grande Americano, but it ended up being Penta against El Grande Americano. Not a bad match. I was disappointed, though, because let's not forget that Penta's first match for WWE was Chad Gable, and that was one hell of a match. It really was. So I was expecting that. That's why I was disappointed. Not that El Grande Americano, did anything wrong with this match. I was just expecting that match. The match was okay. Bob?
Well, I think Danhausen's curse probably gave El Grande Americano original perhaps the bit of the runs or something. I don't know. Something happened.
I missed it. Did they explain why he wasn't? What happened?
I don't know. I don't remember either, but it had to be the curse. I mean, come on.
So the whole match they were talking, Corey's overselling the curse, and Michael Cole's like, do we even know if that works? Basically being a, naive guy. If you were paying attention to the segment when Danhausen and Chad Gable were original Grande, there were two guys in masks coming up behind him at the end of the segment.
That's
way
true.
in the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Los Americanos got him before he could get to the ring, but they didn't show that or mention it. Just, the typical that everybody likes the Triple H with the wrestlers in the background, like the video games. So it's like, instead of them in the background talking, they just popped up out of nowhere and started creeping up on him while he was walking out. So if you saw that Easter egg, you knew what happened to him. But of course, they're going to play it off. Danhausen cursed him.
Yeah.
But of course, Graves and Cole never saw that or whatever. So
yeah, they played along with everybody else like it never happened. So
well, to their credit though, they got to watch a little tiny screen. They might not have saw it.
right.
yeah.
They were pretty far to back. I watched it on a 60-inch TV, so
Yeah, they looked like it was specs on the screen running up.
I swore that I seen Asuka during that segment. Her and Kyrie was waiting in the hallway.
That was on the scene with Kofi and Javon.
Okay, I knew at some point.
Yeah, you did see him, but it was the earlier thing. Like that's what I said. They've gotten good at putting people in the background, whether you notice them or not.
Yeah, Robbie, your thoughts on this match, man?
Match was fine. It was okay. I wanted to see. I would have rather seen him with Gable. But the match, wasn't bad. So.
Yeah. Now, is it next week we're going to finally see the two 101?
Yes.
Look, this isn't going to be the end because it's going to be a mask versus mask match in order for this feud to end. But how far are they going to push this El Grande Americano thing with Chad Gable? Are we not going to get Chad Gable back? Is he now just permanently El Grande Americano? Like,
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I said I think they're pushing towards getting Gable out of the mask because he's starting to talk in his regular voice, and Ludwig Kaiser's still doing the Spanish. But I'm highly disappointed because I thought they would, and maybe it's not it, but I thought they would push that to the WrestleMania card. But I know we have 2 nights, so they can come up with something. But having them wrestle before that, I'd rather drag out till WrestleMania because I think Ludwig one of them won the title shot with Dom, or no, one of them was chasing the belt with Dom in the tournament. But still, either way, they got to have that at WrestleMania. You can't have them wrestling before that. That's
Right.
just me. Whether it drags out or not, it's got to be the somebody's coming out of the mask. You can say.
Yep. Penta obviously won this match. Next we go to a backstage interview. Dominic Mysterio, man, looking for Finn Bálor. He was hot. He blames Finn for his loss last week, which led to the next segment, which was Dom coming to the ring with Liv and Raquel. He called Finn Bálor out. Billy came out and said he was trying to teach Dominic to stop acting like a spoiled brat. That this whole time he's been with Dom, he's been trying to guide Dom to teach him, but it just wasn't working. That led to the betrayal. We finally got the betrayal. Now, I don't think anyone was shocked about it. This wasn't some shocking betrayal. I think that this could have been much better if they would have pulled the trigger a long time ago with this. George, your thought on this segment?
So I thought the segment was a bit dragged out, but I mean, I'm with you. If they'd have done it earlier, but they did set it up. So I can't say that, with Finn getting a better conscience about himself in the match with CM Punk and just how he started acting towards everything. So they did set it up. You saw it coming. He's getting his intro back that he had, and he's starting to get that fanfare back that we love his intro. He's doing the crowd thing, but it's like we said, they kept teasing all these breakups with the Judgment Day, and it's like something's got to happen eventually, and they finally did it. So it's like it's not that it was terrible; it's just long overdue.
Yeah, Bob, did you care about this at all?
I like to look at Liv Morgan, but other than that, I didn't care. But what's the upside on this? Okay, Finn Balor's going to be babyface. What's he going to feud with Dom? What's the big-headed guy and Dom? Who wants to see any of those matches? They might be okay, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Does this are there? I think the next betrayal is going to be against Liv and Raquel.
Wasn't Damian Priest part of the Judgment Day at one point?
Yes.
Maybe he could be brought back into the fold, seeing that he's pretty much not doing anything right now.
I have a feeling that R-Truth and Damian's about to win those tag team titles.
Oh, that's right. They teamed up, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think there's a plan for them to put them back.
I didn't care enough to remember.
Yeah. But I mean, or are we going to see a new member of the Judgment Day to replace Finn Bálor and eventually
Jericho?
Replace it. Finally replace Edge with Chris Jericho.
It's going to be Moxley. We're bringing Moxley in to be in the Judgment Day.
Bring Rey Mysterio, man. Let Rey and Dom make up.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Heel.
Go for it.
What'd you think about this?
I agree with George. This is way long overdue. I mean, because I guess you kind of saw it coming, and at the point it's like, yeah, you should have did this probably 3 months ago.
Right.
Or years.
Now, did Raw last night not have very many matches? Because right now, according to the notes I pulled, we're now on Obafemi against Rusev. Did I skip any matches here?
No, you're right.
Wow.
So you got to remember, you had the gauntlet match at the beginning of the show, basically.
That's true.
So you got about 4 matches in one match.
Yeah. So next is again Obafemi.
Hey, I thought we weren't going to go political.
Hey, Hey, look, if he shows up in the WWE ring to wrestle, we can't not talk about it.
If Rusev in this powerhouse battle, there's not very much. I mean, what are you gonna say about the match? Over won as we do, and it just so happens that Brock Lesnar is now going to be here at Raw next week.
Ooh.
I think this match was the lead to Over coming out to answer Brock Lesnar's challenge next week on Raw. George?
Hopefully. I will rain on the parade and say I saw a rumor that they're saying Brock doesn't want to lose to his last match. I just read that today. I don't know the source is credible.
Wait, say that again?
So Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman put in a request. This is a rumor. This is 100% rumor. This is not true. I don't even know if the source is credible because the internet nowadays, you can type up anything and say you're a journalist.
Yep.
They're saying Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman requested that Brock doesn't lose until his last match, since he's not making appearances every show and stuff like that.
Well, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Because this is
But
why
if you have-
this is why I disagree. Ova is supposed to be the next big thing, no pun intended, right? So Brock, it would only make sense that because he loses, passes the torch to him, that now he's like in a storyline. I cannot lose I can't lose matches like this, and then who he's going to go face, the guy who ends people's careers, Gunther, because dude, it's been rumored that it's been for months.
Gunther
now.
beats him at SummerSlam.
But storyline wise, it would make sense. It would set up, because otherwise, why would Brock Lesnar all of a sudden want to put up his career unless he took, in his mind, a devastating loss at WrestleMania? Him saying, if I can't beat Gunther, same thing as AJ. Basically, is what I see them doing. If I can't beat Gunther, then, I'm going to retire.
The only difference is AJ losing to Gunther is believable, but Gunther beating Brock Lesnar ain't believable on any level.
I won't even know.
No, you could do anything you could do a schmoz, what do they call it? You could do something shady, but to go out there and actually beat him, come on.
Yeah, I actually agree.
I don't see Brock tapping out.
No, although Brock Lesnar has tapped out before.
Yeah, but I mean, with the way Gunther wins matches, he has all the basic moves that, he tries to kill people with all of them at one time and then maybe put them to sleep after that. But I don't see Brock tapping. I see him passing out without answering the referee or something.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, the rumor, I like the match with Rusev and Ova, but I mean, and I do expect him to answer the challenge. I just hope that's not the going plan for Brock to win, because that would make zero sense, just like we were talking about earlier. But they would do it. I don't think Triple H has that same mindset. But I mean, I'm one of the people on the side that the Undertaker streak should have kept going until he quit. So that's just me.
Well,
if Ova answers the challenge, I'll be happy because I'll feel like he's going to win.
I personally feel, this is my opinion, if Ova answers the challenge and they have Brock Lesnar beat him in WrestleMania, that's going to kill his momentum. Even though
absolutely.
Even though it's Brock Lesnar, right?
Yeah.
But it's because of it's Ova. It's because of the way they pushed him, right?
Yeah.
A loss against Brock Lesnar would absolutely, he would be another Braun Strowman experiment that failed. Robbie?
Yeah, I agree with you. So, I mean, if he's answering, you have to put him over, because if you put Brock over, you're going to do the same thing you did to Braun.
Mm.
Yeah, Bob, you disagree?
Yeah, because you have to remember Brock Lesnar's the bad guy. Do something bad to win, and then it don't make the guy look bad. He loses illegally, and then he could go crazy and I can't believe this. And he could beat up a bunch, get his star back. Wouldn't hurt him at all.
I
agree.
I think
now if he goes out there and does what he did to John Cena at with the first show on with a Wrestle whatever it was.
Yeah.
He goes out there and beats him real quick like that, then be like, okay.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah.
No, I see. I think that if the wrestling fans were wrestling fans back in the day, I would agree with you, Bob. But the way wrestling fans are these days, if Obafemi gets beat by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in any way, the fans are going to turn on him and they won't ever come back to him.
You know what I say to those fans? If that's the way they want to be, they are cursed.
Yeah, I do agree with Bob, but it's one of those things though. Like I said, they got to execute the story. Like if you have Over lose at WrestleMania after going all this way and getting to Brock Lesnar, he loses and gets mad and tears up. They got to have him like maybe not the Raw for Mania, but have him come back 2 weeks later and just scorched earth and just destroy the show. And, some kind of way get a rematch where he wins, or just have a bigger opponent where he finally, he beats him. He's chasing that ghost after that. That's if WWE wants to do that, though, because they have been lately where it's like something that could spark a major storyline that would help the person that lost or won. They don't do it.
I can see it now. You bring back the great Khali, and he beats him in 5 seconds.
I'm okay with that. I think he would do it.
Well, they could have him beat they could have him beat that Omos kid. He's like a monster.
Omos. Yeah, they wrestled once at the house show,
whatever.
but I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can see him doing it, but they got to do something big if he loses to Lesnar. That's all I say. Like, don't build him up to lose at his first Mania like that. Not do anything afterwards.
Yeah. Guys, next we go to, that's something else we didn't talk about. We led up to the main event segment. Kathy Cali with the Usos backstage. The Usos were about to leave, but then they're like, you know what? We need to, have a conversation with CM Punk. Kathy Cali said, ask him. I know CM Punk's your favorite. How do you feel about what he said? And Jay was like, man, forget CM Punk. We're out of here. And then Big Jim was like, no. We do need to take care of this. Which led to our main event segment. Jimmy Uso confronting CM Punk, or the Usos. I found it a little silly. I'm not going to be... I'm not saying it was bad, but I found it, Jey Uso, apologize. Fucking A. How many times? It reminded me of Batista telling Triple H, give me what I want.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. Punk does apologize to the Bloodline, but he apologizes for them basically being the Roman Reigns young boys.
Young boys.
Which led to them getting into it. But here's the question. Did we see any type of a heel turn here? Or no, just two baby faces, getting into it that they're not heels, they just now are, Robbie.
I don't know, the way he was trying to act, Jimmy or whatever, you could see like trying to turn it to a heel or whatever. Or at least that was my take on it. But he was trying to come off as like the badass, like apologize like now and stuff like that.
Yeah, the thing though is I almost took it as maybe CM Punk being a heel because of him saying, tell the crowd, Roman Reigns said, all of you brainwashed type of a thing. So it's like, I get what you're saying, but then there was that with CM Punk. So I don't know who's the babyface, who's the heel in this scenario, Bob?
Well, it's a good question. I think they're just making us second guess it. Is Punk the heel? It's kind of a personal issue, so no one's necessarily the heel. They're just stuck in a situation. They're pissed because he said that about Roman's father, and settle it in the ring, I say.
George.
No, I don't. I'm just kidding. I don't want to see the Usos against Punk. So take that back.
Part of the wrestling formula has always been baby first, baby face versus heel, right?
Yep. So you can blur the line. You can always blur the lines with that because if two faces or or just two people that are over with the fans, what Cody likes to refer to as letting the crowd pick, let the crowd decide during the match. But in a case like this where you got the promo with Punk and the Usos are halfway back to what they were before they joined the Bloodline when they were Usos Penitentiary. Jey Uso didn't change from that. He just became an over babyface. Jimmy was the shadow, the older brother, but the shadow in Jay's shadow, basically. And they put him back together because he couldn't get over, and some people were tired of Jay getting all the single success, whatever reason, whatever. But they went back to being Uso Penitentiary Usos, where they were towing the line as heels when they were faces. It's like they were in the New Day's face regardless if they liked them or not. Like, and that's the thing we got to remember. And CM Punk's never been that guy to totally be. He's been that Steve Austin babyface where it's like, I'm a babyface. I'm here for the fans, but I'm still gonna say what I need to say. Right. You gotta, like Bob said, it's a personal thing. You got to look at it like a real life scenario. You're talking about our, our uncle or whoever, however they're related, and we're gonna confront you about it before our cousin does because we don't like the way you said it.
That's really the way it is too.
And we mess with you, but we don't mess with you like that. It's like we got to confront you, even though you're our friend. You're our friend, but you're only our friend so far. You're talking about family. Right. Now we got to fight. So that's how you got to look at it. You got to add the real life into the wrestling sometimes.
Yeah. Bob?
Yeah. Like the fans, they should decide to be like, I like CM Punk, but he shouldn't have said that. And I would, if he said that about my father, I'd be doing what the Usos do. So not really babyface heels, they're just settling a personal issue.
This is my concern. I am so scared that this is going to run into the reunification of the bloodline.
Maybe.
Well, how deep is that word reunify? Because they're already still together, other than Sammy being on SmackDown. It's like everybody's always they're always together, sort of. So it's like it's kind of like
the thing. We still have 6 weeks before WrestleMania. And so you know that WWE is going to do what they always do. We're going to have some type of a tag match now with Roman Reigns and the Usos versus CM Punk and two people of his choice, right?
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Finn Bálor and who?
Who is going to be CM Punk? Is it going to be Cody Rhodes? Does he mention Cody Rhodes last night?
Yes, he did mention Cody.
Right, but who's
so you have CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Bloodline. So I mean or you bring Finn back as a babyface, and all kinds of hell breaks out because the Vision and the Judgment Day interrupt, and it's still CM Punk and Roman standing over each other at the end of the show. I mean, I'm not in production for WWE, but I'm just saying.
CM Punk and Jacob Fatu.
But Fatu's part of that family.
Yeah. It's all confusing.
The thing is, though, they just had Jacob in the ambulance with Jay when he got beat up before Elimination Chamber, so he probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't.
You could bring Cody in, and so you'd have Cody, CM Punk, and God, where's the other? There's one other one in there, and I can't think of it. Now I lost my train of thought. There was one other person.
LA Knight?
The only person I could think would be LA Knight, but that's because, they've been on thin ice with him and Jay have been like back and forth. They're either friends or they're fighting. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah. That is the recap. That's the recap for Monday Night Raw. Robbie, great, man. What would you give it last night?
I'm a B.
A B. Yeah, Bob?
C plus.
George?
I give it a B minus.
Okay. I'm giving it a D minus. I was joking.
I
was going to give it a B. It was for the most part, I enjoyed it.
I mean the gauntlet match. I thought that was one of the probably the best match of the night.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, this coming Friday, I am going to have NWA, Total Knights, TNA, Ring of Honor, N01, professional wrestler David Young is going to be on the podcast. Looking forward to that. Robbie, what you got going on, man?
Of course, May 9th, at the Twisted Fork, the Bunkhouse Brawl. So it'll be me, Richie Paradise, and Brian Johnson versus Bob's kid, Robbie Cook, Joe Cicino, and Chief Eddie Two Rivers. So we've got that. And then, so we may have another announcement coming up in April there.
Bob, are you going to sneak on in there and maybe crawl from under the ring? The lights are going to go out and come back on in the middle, and you're going to give Robbie a good old nut shot?
I couldn't even crawl under the ring. Did my wife call you today, Robbie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She called me a lot of names.
Oh. Well.
Hey, I bet you if you put a case of Mountain Dew in the middle underneath that ring, I bet he could crawl underneath there.
Well, that's true.
He might reach it with a broom, just so he doesn't have to crawl.
George, where are you going to be at?
So I'm going to go ahead and plug all the shows I know for sure I'll be at, because I don't know the next time I'll be on here. So Saturday, I'll be in Napoleonville for Gulf State Wrestling. April 24th, I'll be in Houma for Pro Wrestling 225. I'll also be, before that, the Gulf Coast Wrestling Mississippi Rumble on April 11th. And then on May 2nd, 225 Mania happens in Denham Springs. So I got, my part-time schedule for wrestling right now. I haven't been going to Mississippi like talk about it, but April 11th, I will be in Mississippi. But I'm Louisiana's favorite ref right now. So, hey, working and repping. And I might be in the Rumble. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but people keep asking me. So.
Bob, anything going on with you?
Of course not. I'll be waddling into the gym later tonight, wishing I was dead. But other than that, no.
Guys, we will be back on Thursday to talk about George's favorite promotion, AEW Dynamite.
I thought you were about to say Ring of Honor.
Collision was a pretty good show this week.
Some of it was. Some of it I'm like, I don't know.
That stuff with Hook, though, holy crap.
Yeah,
I can't imagine you do that. And that had to be like pre-taped. And you saw it before you aired it, and you still aired it. It's like, what are they thinking?
It's AEW you're talking about, not the Basham.
It was Cook and the closing match.
What did you say?
So we got
The Cook and how they closed it.
Oh,
how they went off air. It just, I give Collision a C plus if you were talking about grading it.
I thought the ladies' match was good. Tag team.
Was Megan Bain in it?
Yes.
That's the only reason why he liked it.
Hey, it was a good match, though.
Hey, look, I was working, but I watched the NXT pay-per-view, Vengeance Day. It was really good.
That was good, too. Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah, I was about to say, enjoy it. It was good. There was nothing that was like, oh God, I can't believe. No, there was nothing. I'd give it an A, but to the joke of you calling AEW my favorite show, NXT is my favorite show right now, easily. Like, it does not matter what's on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite. I'm watching NXT and I'm invested. So they could do stupid stuff on there, and I don't care.
You're not watching it. It's on right now. What are you talking about? It's on right now.
Hey man, the CW app is free. You can always watch the replay.
That's true. Well, by the way, Joe Henry needs to learn how to punch, for Christ's sakes.
Yes, I agree with that.
Holy crap.
Don't get me started.
That's Casey's favorite guy.
Yeah, I was about to say his favorite wrestler.
Guys, that wraps up the podcast tonight. Again, please subscribe to the podcast. We'll, again, as I said, we'll be back Thursday to do a recap AEW. Also, I will be, again, David Young. I'll be interviewing on Friday and also Friday nights. I'm double duty. SmackDown. Find out if you loved it or we just liked it or tune in. Follow me on Facebook, guys. KG Landry. Until then, you guys have a great week. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, guys.